All right. Um, if there's anyone out there, can you tell me if you're hearing me, please? I was having a little difficulty a while ago with sound. Are you hearing me? My microphone, apparently I had more than one microphones plugged in, so I was having a little difficulty. Okay, so I'm being heard. Storm Chaser, how are you? Um, at the start of the other live, I was talking about having a smart house. It was apparent I was speaking with myself. Um, Having a smart house means that all your electrical appliances, your household gadgets, or even your doorbell, even your door locks can be on this smart system. Um, having a smart house can be essential for some persons, as they would want to be able to tell whatever hub or portal they have, that tell whatever hub or portal they have that they need to turn on a light, turn off a light. um Everything is just operated remotely. One of the thing for me why I honestly don't want to go smart or have a smart house where everything is relying on this the internet system is I'm trying to eliminate having so much reliance on these ISP, internet service providers. I honestly I can't manage them. I need to I need to eliminate the reliance I have on them. And right now, I honestly hardly have anything on the internet system. Majority of my things that I have are independent of the internet, and I think I rather it that way. For those who want to go smart house, fine, go ahead. But I think what you need to do is study the pros and the cons to having this internet system. All right, Storm Chase, I have a question. Suppose you get a good ISP, would you go smart? Um, Possibly yes. I'm not saying that the internet service providers that I have are not good. They are good, but my problem is the expense. I think at this time, in all honesty, when you look at it, my greatest bill is the internet. If I should add my water and my light bill together, I still have to put something more on it to pay the internet persons. So my reliance on them is it's too much. So I wouldn't say having a good internet service provider would make me go smart. No, it's just the cost that's associated with the internet service providers. I don't want to have so much of a I don't want to be so much dependent on them to run the house. Understand? And honestly, people, all who planning to go smart, please check it out. Don't just jump into something. Check it out. See if the ISP that you use, if they can manage the load that you're about to carry. Because that's another thing too, you know. Some of us have or some of us are going to put a lot of things on the internet. See if it can manage it. Also, you need to check how secure it is, if your information will be out there, all of that you need to check out. Don't just take it for granted, check it out. All right? And that's my little 2 cents with having a smart house. It's honestly a nice idea, and I do like it, but my biggest issue with it is the internet service provider. The reliance on them is too much, and the internet bills are too high. As soon as I find a way to reduce the internet bill, honestly, I'll put it on the channel. But in the interim, I can't honestly afford so much reliance on them. But is there limited amount? Yes, for me, my internet service provider only offer 5 things that you can place on it for to access Wi-Fi. Only 5. Um, and then if you think of it, you're going to put a door lock, a doorbell, a what else? Cameras, um, not to mention your computer, your laptop, your tablets, your phones, your televisions, all of this. Hi Beto, all of this on on the internet, then it's going to pull a lot. And so far all that I've mentioned is more than 5. So I think you may need to choose, or I would have to choose which 5. So that's the issue I'm having. I do have a camera system at home. I do have a camera system at home, yes. Um, and it's on the internet. It's on the internet. So, like I say, 5. And that 5 is, I don't know, I think I would have exhausted it already. I think I would have exhausted it already. My camera system is, while it's Wi-Fi, it has a DVR portion to it where it's only Wi-Fi when I need to access it. That's just it. Only when I need to access it. So it's not like, and my camera system is not it's not wireless. The fridge inverter you have you saved money? Yes, I have saved. You know, smart, I think what would be good for me to do is to be able to judge what I would have used and still make an effort to put that money one side. And I think that's one of my goals for 2023, where the money that I would have saved from having the conventional refrigerator, to see what I would have spent probably a couple years ago, even though the rates are different, then I think that's the way I want to go, to see um if I can at least save something, put something aside what I would have originally spent with the power company. So it's a it does cause you to save, and for me I think it caused me to save tremendously, because two of my time, the time that I have allotted to to um having the refrigerator on and off, it's quite a lot of time. I think I do 10 hours. Yeah, I do 10 hours. Um, I know I've heard, I went somewhere and I heard a gentleman said that an electrician told him that the fridge timer is not good. It's not good for the refrigerator. But for me, I've been using it for quite a number of years. And even based on the review that you have online, I'm not seeing some person say that it damaged their equipment. And well, so far it hasn't done anything to my equipment. Um, so in terms of the electricians say that it's not good, why is it that other persons are selling it? Even JPS was selling it. It was sold at their e-store. So why is it that they would have deliberately sold us something that is not good? But I don't know what was the reason why his electrician told him. He did not ask why it wasn't good. He just hold on to it to say it's not good. So I don't have any problem with my refrigerator, my refrigerator inverter. The fridge inverter have you save money. Oh, I was speaking of the timer. I'm sorry. Yes, yes, Storm. I have saved tremendously with that. Honestly, I think if I do, because I went solar probably 2 years ago. I think this might be my third year. And if I check my bill 2 years ago, even when I was using the conventional refrigerator, to know my power consumption has reduced. The consumption, I'm not talking about the money, because with the rates going up, you can, honestly, the only thing I can compare it with is consumption. I can only compare consumption then to consumption now. So yes, it has caused me to save a lot, quite a lot. Um, it's a refrigerator I would recommend persons to buy. It doesn't have to be the same model that I bought. I told persons in the vlog why I purchased that model, because that model was one that during my research, then that came up on top for me. However, before purchasing a particular model, I would recommend you doing the research. Don't just leave your house to say you're going to buy a refrigerator. You buy a refrigerator. No, do your research. So and give yourself some time to know what is it you're honestly getting. Like I told you last week, my way of conserving, you know, before I go there, there's this thing that when you're thirsty, you're very thirsty, you feel like you drink a gallon of water. But when you start drinking an 8 ounce cup, you find that you need less. The less water you drink, at that point, you realize that you're not going to reach a gallon of water. And I think for me, conservation has reached that point. So what I intend to do in order to conserve more is for the appliances or the anything that I'm changing out, I'm trying to go less. All right. The biggest bill, Storm's question or statement is, the biggest bill I have now is my water. but I need to put things in place for the water bill to go down. You can put things in place for the water bill to go down by looking at what is it that you're using the water for. So if you don't have a garden, then you save right there because you won't need to water a garden. However, if you have, look on the pipes, look on the faucets, look on the toilets, look on the, what, even those faucets, look on the shower head. Those things are what can be water conservers to, the toilets that you choose. I remember sometime last year, I went to purchase a toilet. And when I went to purchase that toilet, my greatest, plus for looking for that toilet was a gallon per flush. The one that I was replacing it with was a gallon drinker. It would drink a lot of water. So what I had to do was to retrofit the parts inside of it for it to cool down. At this point, because I was buying another one, what I wanted to do was to make sure that whatever it is that I bought would just use less water to begin with. And I didn't want, the dual flush where you have the small flush or the large flush. I didn't want any of that because it honestly couldn't hold in the space either. So I had to buy one that just have less. And toilets nowadays are being made with that. So you need to look on your faucets, your shower heads, and the toilet itself. Some of what I'm telling you, it may cost you to change them out, but look on the brighter side. In the longer run, then you might have it. You will have it saving because you already changed out those old type. All right, I have the old type of toilet. Should I change that? Yes, you should. Or if you don't have the money to change it, you can change the parts inside. So if you change the parts inside, you can get the parts that allow you to have less water to flush it. Or in one of my vlogs, I know you have some persons who put a bottle of water in there. And when the bottle of water will carry up the water level quicker. So when you honestly do flush that, less water comes out. See, yeah, there are things that you can do even though you have the old type of toilet. Yes, explain that to me, dual thing that you're talking about. All right. The dual flush toilet has two ways of flushing. So you have one that use a section that use less water and the section that use the regular water. So the part that use less water, you can use that to flush anything as well. So you can use that. And strangely, someone told me that at nights, because they have because they have um a lot of persons using that toilet, there's a liquid. If I find that name, I'll honestly put it out. There's a liquid that is used and you throw that in the toilet. Some persons don't want their toilet to stain. I don't like it either. So they throw that in the toilet, and what it does, whoever use that toilet to urinate, it it eliminates any odor. It also eliminates any ring around the toilet. And then in the morning, they just do one major flush. Hi, Stephanie. Please like the live. Hi, Marva. Thank you. Um, Another thing too, instead of changing out that toilet, Storm, find another way because money is not so easy to come around. No, it's honestly not so easy. So the best thing to do, See if you can put something in the toilet. Put a bottle of even stones, small stones. It will rise the water level so that each time you put in the water, each time the water should fill in that toilet tank, it will be less. So try the bottle technique, or if you have a little money to spare, try retrofitting the inside parts of that toilet tank. That will work as well. So I hope you understand what I'm saying. You understand? Um, and like I said, Storm, look at your pipes. Look at the pipes. Look at the shower head. If you purchase online, you see those shower heads? You can get some shower heads that are water efficient for even $5 online. Yeah, it coming from far, but you can get them. And it gives this rain-like feel when you're bathing. That rain-like, it feels nice and it doesn't use a lot of water. I even got one with LED light once. So it works. The only thing you might need to do with these shower heads from time to time, which you have to do it with every shower head, is just clean it with a little vinegar to prevent the hard water from clogging up the holes on that shower head. But away from that, it does work. Um, if you can get it on Amazon or eBay, yes, you can get it there. You can. So try that option. And don't look for the expensive shower heads. Don't look for that. So that's a problem sometimes with us. We look for the expensive ones. Some of these shower heads are plastic, not expensive. It don't change. Plastic, and they might spray it with a little, probably what they call it, chrome spray. What about the local store? um for me, I find that I get things cheaper online than even the local stores that I have here. I've purchased things. I'm going to tell you a story of what happened to me once. I purchased a faucet that was water conserving, but the faucet that I purchased was for the bathroom, and the water that goes in, as a matter of fact, the faucet was plastic, but you couldn't tell that it was plastic. It looks like the regular metal ones. So I purchased it, and when I purchased it, I put it in the bathroom by my mother's house. When we put it in the bathroom, I don't know how my brother break it off, but it got broken. And at the point the bathroom the bathroom sink could not be used. The basin couldn't be used. So we rush out and buy one, put it in. You know that the one that we buy start disintegrating, and we paid more money for it than what I would have purchased it for online. All I had to do was to turn off the angle valve, stop the water from running, and then I had to buy two online, and I paid $10 for the two online. Is the other day I changed one of my own because I changed my basin in that bathroom. So I just put in the new pipe in there. So you can get it in the local store, but you might pay for it. Honestly, you might pay for it. So see what, because you can get it online, see how best you can go online and get it for cheaper. I see the remote switch you use to turn the power on and off. Do you have live pictures to show? Um, I'm going to tell you something, Storm. I purchased those remote switches years ago. Years. When I when I started using those remote switches, I only had the television on it, I had some I had a microwave on it. I had a mosquito zapper on it. One that I wanted it to. The mosquitoes are terrible over here, so I had it on one of them, and I had the television in the attic on it, and I had a my husband have a radio system, and I had it on it. When I placed it on it, I realized that eventually the one for the zapper wasn't being used as much. Then one day, the one that my husband had around his little room started acting up. So we had to move the one from the zapper, where the zapper was, to there. Then another one went down. In all honesty, when the other one went down, the one for the TV room went down, I was honestly disappointed. But I learned my lesson even with the battery charger, that I mustn't come up with my frustration like that. I need to check when I buy it. When I checked when I bought this item, it was so long. It honestly has done its time. So right now I have three of them using. I think I have one here. I'm not sure if you're seeing it. This is how my set looks. So it has the three-way plugs, and it has a switch. I'm not sure if you can hear it. It has a switch that you can use to turn it on and off. And I think my mistake was, especially the one inside the TV room, because I couldn't bother reach the remote. That was what I was doing. And this was the one for the TV room, where once I coming in, I switch it. When I turn off the TV, I switch it again. And I think that's what caused this to go bad. I think if I was using the remote, and I should have used the remote, especially for this one, because I got two remote with these. I have been looking online for our next set of 5, but I'm not ready to buy it yet until perhaps another one go down. But in the interim, I have 3 working in the 3 main areas of the house. But the next time I buy, I'm not sure if this one that I have discontinued, but I'll look again. I know I have a set in the cart. So I know I'm going to buy another set of 5. I know that for sure. Another set of 5 will be what I purchase. But these are honestly very useful. When I just bought these, every morning I would have got to the remote and press all off. And pressing all off gave me the assurance that nothing that was plugged into these timers, or the remote switch, sorry, it's not a timer, it's a remote switch. Nothing that was plugged into the remote switch was on. It gave me that assurance. And in all honesty, it helped me to conserve. Because take for instance, we soon talk to you about the garden. Take for instance, Storm. You have your TV plugged in. So your TV is plugged in, the microwave is plugged in, and that little microwave, it have this digital display on it that's using your electricity. So your TV is plugged in, and your TV, without a lot of us even realizing, those TV turn on with with the TV remote at just a touch of a switch. It does it already has that electricity running through it, waiting on you to turn on that that remote, to just press on or power on that remote. That what is happening there is wasted electricity. I would even talk about the microwave, because the microwave, just having that digital display flashing, is the electricity right there. So I had to find ways to kill that. Yes, I'm serious. I had to find ways to kill that electricity. There is a video, a vlog that I've done called Vampire Electricity. I realized that a lot of persons are watching it, and there's another one about leaking electricity. Right. Um, Persons don't even know that these little things that are on, even the box, what the name of the box, the cable box. How much time are you going to watch TV? So when you're not watching the TV, you know the amount of electricity running through that thing. The amount of electricity that is running through it. Trust me, we can cut it down, plug them out. For me, where my plugs were, it was difficult for me to plug out that TV, plug out that cable box, plug out the not even to mention the microwave, because the microwave is in a cupboard. I can't reach up there. So the easiest thing for me was to use the remote switches and just use the remote and power it down. And I saved myself a lot by just using these little gadgets. Your vertical garden look great. I see the latest video came out. Yes. For 2022, I think that was my most proudest achievement. I honestly liked it. Probably because of where I put it, and the fact that I can grow more things. I do have space in the yard. I can grow things, I do, but that wall was honestly unsightly to me, so I had to put it up. You watch it many times. I go around there many times, up to when the rain was falling. I make sure that I look to see if the rain was catching the plants on the vertical planter. And when the rain stopped, I look, it was okay. Everything was fine. So I'm happy that you did watch it many times. I make sure I look through the window storm. You want to see me too. To make sure say every one of those little pots getting water. And they got water. I need more plants though. Um I need more plants. I need especially more succulents. I have I have some more pots leave. Not as much as I had shown on the video, because I've gotten other succulents, and I did plant the garlic. I plant three little clove of the garlic, and they're growing. So I must say I'm happy for what is happening around there. I will eat. Well, I've always been eating from my garden. So no won't be a difference. It means I'll eat more. Um Back to the remote switch, there's something that I needed to say about it. I think if you planning to get the remote switch, it would be good if you have the switches in different parts of the house, to put the remote at a central location, so that probably you want to turn on the microwave when your wife or your spouse want to turn on the TV. Everybody know where that remote switch, where the remote control is for these. Everybody should know. And it won't be that somebody leave it on. As a matter of fact, if it is left on, it has a light. Where this button is, there's a red light. that it shows. I have another one for that is on the TV and the TV box specifically. No, I think this. Oh, sorry. I told you that this control the TV. No, you know what it control? The computer that I'm on. No. So I had to find back one to put there. And there's one there now. But the one for the TV and the cable box is different. That one has a little, it's like the car remote. That one has that. And it has the red light as well. So if somebody should be watching the TV and leave it on, you'll see the red light there. So somebody else can probably just turn it off. It's easily identifiable. Worse if the light is off. If the light is off, then you'll just see this red light in the room. So it's not like you would know that it's on. You'll know. So these are honestly good gadgets to know. You have mentioned something about low voltage. Um, yes, I did a vlog on low voltage. You know, Storm, even though some of us may experience low voltage, we honestly don't realize that we have that low voltage until something happened to our equipment. Fortunate for me, I might be able to see the signs of the dimming light, the light flashing on and off, things like those. Some persons honestly don't know. There's also, how can you find that out? If you have low voltage, the lights. The lights for me were my indicators because I couldn't tell if I don't really have my TV also plugged in. Like I say, it's plugged in, but it's not on. I don't use my TV like a radio. So the only thing that was able to tell me is the light. So like no, I have to have the light on. I think the next time I'm going to buy something, one of those round lights, so that I don't need to turn on that light. But if the light was experiencing lower high voltage, then you would see a dip. It would be constantly dipping. Probably the flicker would affect your eyes. So there's another vlog, and I don't want to talk about it much, that I'm doing some research about, and it's getting a voltage stabilizer. You have some appliances or some equipment that persons have to use, and it need that stabilized current. And the best thing to get is a voltage stabilizer. I had one Storm, but it went bad and I had to throw it away. But I'm trying to put together a nice little vlog for it so that persons would be informed that there's something out there that can stabilize the electricity for whatever appliance they need it for. So until then I don't really want to talk about that much. But there are things that we can use, or things that we can do to conserve, to save that electricity. Just plug out. If you're not using, plug it out. A lot of like a phantom electricity or vampire electricity is running through some of our homes, and we are paying for it dearly. I know, especially in the country that I'm living in, persons are paying dearly for electricity that they say that they did not use. They say they did not use it, but the power company say you use it. And it's hard to convince somebody that they did not use this electricity if the TV is off, but it is plugged in. It's hard to convince them. And I think that's one of the problems that we're having, where we leave these things on or plugged in. Even even the washing machine. We're not using it. How often we wash? We don't wash every day. Plug it out. I would have, based on where my plug is for my washing machine, if my plug is at a location where I couldn't reach it, then I would have put one of these on it. But where my plug is for the washing machine, as soon as I finish washing, it can easily be plugged out. So it's not a problem. But for those who have the plugs that are in some little spot, you can't move a chair each time you must plug out a TV. Or you can't move the fridge to plug out another appliance. That don't make any sense. So get some of these little plugs. That's a good idea for the plugs that are inaccessible. Yes, it is. Persons need to find ways to save. We can find the ways and find the little gadgets to save. I also have a remote plug that has a timer on it, and I like to use it to charge my phones. And I realized that when I use it, especially at night when I forget to charge my phones in the day, I find that when I use it, you can tell sometimes. Well, I know I can tell. When I plug in my phone, it will tell me sometimes that it need 1 hour to be charged. So all I do is plug it back out and plug it back in the timer and set that timer to 1 hour. When the 1 hour, everything shut down. So we need to find ways. We honestly need to find ways to conserve. Kill the power in the plugs. Because that's what you're really doing when you're using things like these. You really kill it. All right, Storm Chaser, I hear some people say, "Me can't bother, me just pay the bill." I've heard that too. And I think one of the greatest things that they are looking at is the money. It's not easy out there, you know. And if you want to be consistent, because you don't have the money, you have to plug out. If you can find a little money to buy some of these remote switches, fine. But for those who can't find it, they have to plug out. You have to be consistent with that. And when you really check it out, conserving now may mean after doing it for probably a month or two, you can afford the switch. You can afford the switch. You can afford a lot of other things if you just try and cut it down now. That's all you have to do. Try cut it down from now to see if you can afford the money to buy that switch. So you don't have to just get up and make the sacrifice to buy the switch and not pay the power people. That wouldn't be a wise thing to do. The best thing to do, because you don't have the money, plug it out. Plug it out. And we're not telling you to live your life that you're uncomfortable, because like I always say in the videos, conservation, honestly, it should not be a burden. If it's a burden, it makes no sense. You're going to be frustrated. So you have to find a way to use it and still pay for what you use, not what is using after you plug it, after you forget to plug it out. Because that is the hardest part, When them send you the bill and you say, "But you don't even watch TV. Why you not watching TV? You don't want to watch it. You don't watch TV because you say you can't pay the bill." That don't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense. Watch your TV, but when you're done, plug it out. Because leaving it in, it's consuming some form of electricity. That's the one that we call vampire phantom electricity. So make the choice. Decide what it is that you want to do. Are you going to plug out, continue to use and not plug out, and you're still paying the bill? I have been using the plugging out method, and for real it works. Yes, it works. In all honesty, I could manage the plugging out method. I honestly couldn't manage it, and that's why I honestly had purchased a timer. The timer at the time was more expensive here, so I had purchased them online. But the plug out method, it worked. It really worked. It honestly just take consistency. It means you have to be determined. Try remember every day plug out. If you don't do that, is your pocket going to feel it? And some people feel say when they plug out, no, I'm plugging back, it jump the meter, it doesn't jump no meter. It honestly doesn't jump it, and your things are not spoiled as well. Do you have a meter that can check the power consumption? Yes, I do have a meter, and tested I have tested lights, especially with it already. I need to test even my washing machine one day to see when I'm using it what happened. Yes, Stephanie, we can make it a family affair where we encourage each other. And trust me, conservation, it don't just happen so. And I spoke about that as well on one of my vlogs, that it begins with more than you. You alone can't do it, But if you alone try it, you have to be consistent. Don't let the others who live in the house say, say you're lucky enough. Try it. They might remember sometime when you don't remember. Or send them, go turn it, plug it out. You plug out the TV, you plug out the washing machine, you plug out this. You have to be consistent. It honestly takes a family in order for the conservation thing to really work. And having having the support of family members, it makes it easier. It really makes it easier, because sometimes you might honestly be even tired to plug it out, but the other one remember. So make it a family affair. um you see that vlog too. Which vlog is that you saw? But back again to the utilities, we can achieve a low consumption. It can be honestly disheartening at times to know that you're saving but the bills are going up. It honestly can be disheartening at times. The bills honestly are going up, not because of your fault where you're consuming more, but the bills are going up because of the rates and the oil. And if you even check, you have on our bills, you have a pie chart, and that pie chart show you what you consume versus the fuel that you use. And I think the other one is what type? I'm not sure what the other one is. But when you look at it, the fuel costs more on that pie chart. The fuel take up more of that pie chart than anything else. Oh, the bulb one, we have tested the bulbs. Yes. It was honestly quite surprising with the bulbs. For me, I go all LEDs. I realized that when I started at first, the LEDs were expensive, because I remember purchasing an LED for a family member once, and it cost 2,500 for the one bulb. Now you get bulb anywhere from probably $500. I've seen them for even $300, and these are good LED bulbs. I think one of mine blow sometime this week, and that was a bulb I had for years. But because I had kept an extra one, then it was just easy changing and throwing away. If I think the light people can do better, yes, I think they can do better. And I think they can do better because they have the monopoly, there's this tight grip on us. And I think we can do better too by seeing what we can change to seeing what we can change out to seeing what we can change out to solar. So we have, I especially like the outside um spotlights, especially if you have dark areas, you can put them up and put up the solar, and religiously every night it comes on. I have a light that is on constantly, constantly throughout the nights. So with the light being on like that, once somebody pass it, it's a motion sensor light though, but it's not off. It has a dim feature to it, and the dim feature is honestly still very bright. So once someone pass it, it gets brighter. So if I'm inside and I see it get brighter, I know something is around there. I have two additional ones that look like a street light. Those get dim, but those get dim. The dim is a little more darker than the other one. I couldn't put that one around to the other side where I put the street lights because it wouldn't work. The first one that I'm telling you about, that's at the corner. No, that's in the middle around the back. So anything come to either side, the light get brighter. You can use lights to conserve. I honestly have outside lights that are electrically installed, and I have LED bulbs in them. And I realized that when I change it out to LED, then my bill became lower. Now that I'm not using them and I have the solar lights installed, I eliminate all of that. I couldn't tell when last I turned on those lights around there. And those are motion censored as well. Yes, I see that light too in one of your vlogs. Yes, I spoke about that light. It's constantly bright on the dim. On the dim, it's constantly bright. But the lights, while the lights do save on electricity, it doesn't save as much as the appliances that you have inside. So plugging out assists greatly. It does assist greatly. What else is there that we can use as well to cut down? I've told you about I've told you about the switches. Oh, and in all that you do, please ensure that your most important appliances are on surge protectors. The surge protectors are what is going to protect your appliances from this high or low voltage. That's what is going to protect it. Yes, one day the surge protectors will go, but still put it on it. Right? Remember, while we are trying to conserve, conservation should not be a burden. Even the fans we can conserve with. Buy one with a lower wattage. How that one look? What is that one? Buy the look on the wattage when you're buying these fans. Don't just buy a fan because you see everybody buying that brand fan, so you buy that fan. No, look on the wattage. The wattage is what will bring down your light bill. You know, look at what you had. So if you, all right, take for instance, at this point now, sometime now I need to buy a blender. And the blender I have is 800, that I have that is giving problem is 850 watts. I'm not going to buy another blender that is 1002 or 2004. I'm not going to buy it. I'm going to look for one that is 850 watts or less. If I get 750, I'm fine. I'm fine. The less wattage you go, the more you can save. Because you were used to using 850 each time you use it. Now you're using probably 600 or 750. That's 100 or that's 100 less or even 250 less than what you were using before. So that's another way you can conserve. And conservation don't only means plugging out in order to conserve or using the less wattage. All the money we can conserve. Technically, you're really conserving your money when you don't pay these light people that amount of money. You're honestly saving when you don't pay them that amount of money. Because can I tell you, the bills are going up and some of us consumption are going down. It can make you honestly feel bad or you wonder what's the use, but we have to persevere. And after a while, when you get used to it, it becomes a norm. So if you're used to plugging out the TV or the cable box when you're not using it, it becomes a reflex. And as little as you see those cable boxes are. I have a small one, a little one, and the wattage on them is a tiny bit. And it's not that you're watching TV 24 hours a day, you're not watching them 24 hours a day. But because you have it using like that, it send up the light bill with that phantom electricity. Any more questions? Any more ways we see where we can conserve? Anything you're not sure of? Any DIY project you see that you would like to know how to do it? Any more tip you can remember in saving money in your pocket? A lot more, you know. Some of them, honestly, I don't even remember speaking on them sometimes. There's a video though that I've done and I realize that persons need to know more, and it's with the leak in electricity. I have assisted persons already who were not even aware that their electricity was leaking. Um, it I remember a coworker saying to me that her light bill was going up for the past 2 months. It keep getting higher, higher, higher. So my question to her at the time was, when you touch, are you opening the fridge or you using the washing machine, you feel a little shock? And she said, yes. And that was it. Leaking electricity. The house that she lived in was a very old house. And because the house was old, the wires were old as well, and they were chafed inside the conduit inside the wall. And because of that, her electricity was leaking. So what it was doing, when she touched it, it just passed through her and go in the ground. And she was paying for that. Because the more the electricity leak, is the more you're paying. So when you have those old houses, and majority of us are going to end up living in old houses, we need to be mindful of that. It's not that the wires are disintegrating in there, you know. Sometimes it's even ants going there and bite up the protective layer that is on the wires itself. Ants. So it's not that the house is honestly old and then the wire is going to disintegrate. No. Things happening in there, and the coating that is on the wire itself come off. So it is better to wire it over then. Um, it will need rewiring when that happens, but it doesn't make any sense wire a house and there's nothing wrong with the electricals in there. But we need to be mindful of that. We need to look out for it. If you feel the shock, don't think say something wrong with the appliance itself. Call an electrician, have him check. Because the longer you wait to deal with that, it means your electricity is being wasted. So don't wait. And especially now when you have the the electricians are more regularized now. You can get somebody you know. It's always nice to have an electrician friend. Always good. So just get him and let him check it for you. And then you know how to deal with it from there on. But you need to be mindful of that. Another thing too, what I need to do over a vlog for that, because like I said, persons are that vlog has been getting quite a number of views, but it was a very short vlog. There are others that needs more time as well. Because persons require more information. Especially I've had since recently somebody asked me about the thing that I use on the roof just to make the roof cool. Persons really ask me during the summer when the heat is on. And you need to make sure that you have a tree or two in or around the yard so that the breeze can come in. Okay. So that the breeze can come in. Because we need the breeze. If you don't have the breeze, you're not going to keep cool. So make sure you plant the trees at the ideal spot so that it can cover. What other thing we have to conserve? We spoke about the water. Oh, there's another thing about the water. You see, sometimes when we purchase faucets, sometimes we purchase faucets not knowing anything about the faucet. So take for instance, years ago when I was looking for a kitchen faucet, a lot of places were selling kitchen faucets now, but I wanted one that would give me a lifetime guarantee. And while there were brands that says they give you the lifetime guarantee, I did find one, and from I have put in that kitchen faucet, I don't have a leak. I don't have a leak. One time it attempted to leak and it was the top of it wanted to tighten, and we tighten it and that's it. So another thing too, don't just go out there and purchase things. Do your research on it. Make sure that it's something that will benefit you. Sometimes, the difference between just buying a faucet and getting the correct faucet that will last you a lifetime, that you don't have to change washer or you don't have to throw away the faucet because the faucet can't be replaced. It may mean just $2 or $3 extra. Or sometimes the one that you need things to replace cost you more. Cost you more than the one that will benefit you more. What I look for in a faucet, I look for energy, not energy, water conservation. There's this thing that is called the aerators on the faucets. It's you have seen it before, but you don't realize that is an aerator. It's a little thing on top on the where the outlet part is, and it has some mesh. That aerator save water. What it does is, instead of the water coming out flushy, it apply, yes, yes, Storm, you can get parts. Any faucet I buy has to be one that I can get parts for. So I tend to buy certain faucets and I save the booklet. If I can't get the parts out here, then I search online for it. And I always get my parts. So using the what the aerator does is it adds air to the water itself. So it come out. If you notice when the water come out, if you have one, it come out like a little freeze. It's the air bubbles inside of the water, and you end up using less water when you use that. Another thing too that I've seen some persons added onto their water meter is they call it a pressure valve. So they add the pressure valve to the water meter and they are able to control the amount of water that comes into their homes. I need to probably do a vlog on that. I think I probably need to do a vlog on that. So they add the pressure valve to it, and it can either increase, and you know that if the water come up, the pressure is honestly too high, it can damage your faucet or damage your pipes, because the pressure of the water that is coming, it can, you know, you're the saying pressure burst pipe. Yeah, it will, or it can burst the pipe that you have. So you have to be careful as well. Majority of the time when you see the pressure is up, it's best if you just turn down the water that is coming in from the meter. Just turn it down, because you honestly don't need all that pressure. You don't need it. And what I find is that the pressure, especially for here, mostly comes up at nights. Some persons, if they don't have the water stinging them, when they're bathing, they honestly don't feel good. But you don't need so much water. When you really check the amount of water that we use to bathe, majority of that water waste. You're soaping up the rag, you have the pipe on. We don't need all of that. Turn it off. Because that's the next thing too. Some persons are getting what they call the smart water meters now, and the smart water meters recognize even a drop of water. So we have to be careful. We have to conserve that water as much as we can. And conserving water, especially Storm, if you do have a garden, you can conserve the water. Some people cook rice. When you wash the rice, because you're washing that rice to get off that white water, throw the water into a container and just use it water your plants. Carry it on there and throw it in the plants. It can benefit your plants greatly. So you don't have to waste water. What I do when the rain fall, I catch water, so that I can use that for days to come to water my garden. And it works. The water lighter. I have a drip irrigation thing going around there. Recently I purchased some, it's like the saline bags that they have in the hospitals where they give the drip. I purchased some of that, and I need to test it to see if I can use it to water. There's a set of orchid that I have that needs to be watered every day. So my plan is to use it as a dripping system, to just drip on the roots daily if I'm not here. So I'll test it out to see if when I'm not here, my plants will still be okay. But majority of the plants I have, they can survive. It happened to me. Leave the pipe on whenever I am taking a shower. Yeah, you have to reduce. Cut it down. Turn it off. Turn it off. You really only want the water to wet up in the first instant and to wash off and to wet the rug. So when you're not doing that, turn it off. All right, guys, we've gone over an hour, and I promised myself that I'm only going to do an hour. So come next week, we'll find another topic and we'll talk about. Put up your questions. If you have any questions, then we can answer them. And I hope you learned a lot today, how you can conserve. What I've found is that something that I'm doing, probably you're not doing that. If you find that you have a way of saving as well, and I have not mentioned it, feel free to share because other persons can benefit as well. All right. And thanks for coming. Please remember to like the live. So until next week, we're out.